Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of LangChain for Beginners course. So if you are new to the course, feel free to reach out to the description and download all the notebooks that you're gonna see in this tutorial. Alright, so in the second part, we're gonna look at how to create an agent. We're gonna learn more about model parameters. We're gonna see different models that is supported by LangChain, how to create an agent, and also how can we simply provide some history for the agent when we invoke it. And at the end, we will see the concept of streaming and how can we stream the output. Alright, so let's start with the same code for loading the environment variables, which includes the API keys that we defined. And then we just load the init chat model. And then here, as we've seen in the previous episode, you can use init chat model and then pass the model that you want, like GPT-5. Here you can just invoke and send a message and then get a response. But you should know that for every model, there are some parameters that you can tweak that sort of controls the output that the model generates for us. The main important parameters that I wanted to tell you about it are temperature, which basically a value between 0 to 1, which determines how much creativity the model can have in the responses. So 1 means so creative and 0 means not creative at all. Then we have max tokens, which is like the number of tokens that should be used for the response. We have timeout, which means how much time in seconds we allow the model to answer, and if it didn't answer in that time, then we'll stop the process. And then we'll have max retries, which basically means how many times we are allowed to retry this request if it fails. We can tweak these parameters in LangChain and see the answer. So for example, I use GPT 5.4 and set the temperature to be 1. And I ask how similar are Portuguese and Spanish. So this is the answer it generated for me. And if I come here and change the temperature to 0.5, the answer that it generates will be different and it will be less creative. And the same applies for the other parameters. So you can just uncomment these parameters and try for yourself. One thing that you should know about the LangChain is that it's model agnostic, which basically means that you can use any model that is supported by LangChain through the same API. And you can change it to another model anytime that you want without needing to change your code. So here, for example, if I want to use the Claude model instead of GPT, all I need to do is to change the string here to Claude. And then again, I can use the same API to interact with that model. Now let's talk about how can we create an agent in LangChain. We will use the function createAgent throughout this course a lot because this is the main way of creating an agent. So we will start by a very easy agent and then along the course we will go to the more complicated ones. So to create an agent, you need to pass a model as a parameter to it. You can pass a model as an object like the model that we defined here, or you can just pass a string, or you don't even need to pass the model equal part because it's a positional argument, so you don't need that. Actually, the first parameter all the time will be the model name. After you created the agent, you need to save it in a variable, and then you can interact with the agent. So here, to actually interact with the model, you use the invoke method and then pass a dictionary with the key messages, which basically is like the messages that we want to provide for the LLM and then get an answer. We have two main different types of messages in LangChain, which are human message and AI message. Human message is the message that is provided by the user, and AI message obviously is the one provided by the AI. So you pass the content and then declare your message here, which I again put how similar are Portuguese and Spanish. And then you can run your model and you can print it. So when you print it, you can see that the response that we got here is a little bit different. we have a messages key, and then inside that we have a list of messages. The first one is actually a human message. It's the same message that we provided here. So you can see that that message is also part of the response. But we also have an AI message, which is a message generated by our AI. To see that, you can just access to the messages, then look at the latest message in the list, and then just print out the content. So this is the message we got from the model. The beauty of this method is that now you can also provide some kind of chat history to the agent. So I can say we have a bunch of messages as a list, and the first one was like from a human, then there was an answer from AI, then there was another text from human. And you can provide all of these as a context for the agent to make a response for you. So when you run this, you will see that these messages will be part of the response. So first we have the human message here, then we will have the AI message, and so on. Again, for printing out the output of the AI, you can just use the same code before. We just need to access the last element in the messages list. And this is the response. As you may seen in the previous part, some AIs may be very slow to respond, and some of them need more time to respond. So if you just print out the messages, for some cases, it will take a lot of time, sometimes minutes. A better way to handle this is, instead of waiting for the whole request to finish and then flushing out all the output to the standard output, you can use streaming. Streaming means outputting the result as soon as it gets ready. So LangChain provides a stream method that you can use for streaming. We will see more streamings and different types of streaming later in this course, but right now simply I'm gonna show you how it looks like. So as you can see, as the responses get generated by the AI, here we are printing them out. We do not wait for the whole response to get ready and then printing out. This is called streaming. We have different types of streaming like sync and async, and we will talk about them later throughout this course. But for now, I just wanted to make you just familiar with this concept. Thank you. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and see you in the next video.